The case began on Heisei, February 21, 2009. A mother was helping her daughter named Itsukiheim do her hairstyle. As usual, the child did not approve of the mother's care and thought that this hairstyle was not suitable for her. The mother, on the other hand, tried to prove to her daughter that she looked good. But the daughter still felt uncomfortable and thought her friends didn't approve. The thing is, the girl's mother wanted to make her daughter a temple maid. According to her, it is the duty of all women who are born in this temple. The house is an old temple with its own history and traditions. In the meantime, the girl decided to go and get ready for dinner. At the same time, she would clean up the yard. Itsukiheim thought that all these things of the past have nothing to do with her, but her mother proves otherwise. Suddenly, a guy named Jinta was walking towards the girl with a bamboo kendo training sword. Jinta was intent on asking Itsukiheim something. The girl felt fear through the guy getting too close to her. He was wondering if the heroine was a maid in the temple. Through her fear, the girl was mixing up words and couldn't answer Shinai clearly. Itsukiheim didn't know much about it, but in the temple, Jinta called the maids Itsukiheim and had been doing so for generations. Jinta was shocked to learn that this was the Jinta shrine. Tears were streaming down his cheeks. The heroine was shocked. The guy turned around, thanked the girl, and apologized to her. He was determined to leave. Itsukiheim realized that before that, the guy was intent on asking something, but he never did. He, on the other hand, believed that the answer had already been given. She had already said what he wanted to know. The girl thought that the things of the past did not concern her. However, that was not the case. It was the first time she had ever watched a boy cry. All that had come before was only girls crying in her presence. Itsukiheim was sure that the reason for these tears was because she was serving in this temple. She felt that the temple was very important to this place. After all, it had come a long way with a length of over 170 years. Imagine that. Next, events unfold from Tenna 111 in 840. This is the outskirts of Kadono village. Jinta was intent on resting. He was on his way to an important journey. Suddenly, a samurai approached him to find out where a place called Kadono was. It turned out to be the name of the village where Jinta lived. The samurai asked Shinai to walk her to this village. Jinta himself did not understand why the girl was going so far away. She explained that her sister had married someone and she wanted to congratulate her in person. While the girl was talking about how wonderful her sister was, the guy didn't hesitate, drew his sword and dealt with the demon. He thought it was the perfect alibi and attractive appearance. He knew this girl was a demon beforehand, and after that he was convinced of it himself when he saw the creature. After that, Jinta went to the village where he grew up. Kadono village looked like an ordinary village, with its beautiful scenery. Jinta entered the temple, where they were proud of him for taking out the demon with all nobility. The samurai was glad to have a man like Jinta serving her. Jinta, according to her, is not afraid of evil spirits and demons. The guy was only 18 years old, and he was already so cool. He explained to everyone and proved that he was doing his duty as a protector of the temple servants. They believed that no one could compare to this samurai. For his part, Jinta said that this was the talent of a mere wanderer, which did not compare to that of the Kadono villagers. For a couple more minutes, the temple attendants tried to prove to the guy that his talent is very strong, because no one of the villagers can defeat demons. The servants were curious about what the demon looked like that time, and Jinta explained that he took the form of a woman and wanted to get into Kadono, after which they wondered. The head, realizing that the demon's target was the princess, was wary. However, the others believed that this was just an old legend, and in fact, the previous Yukaheim, Yokazi, had been killed by a demon 8 years ago. Apparently, the next target of the demons was Yarai. That was the name of the precious sword passed down from generation to generation by Itsukiheim. They say its blade won't rust even after 1,000 years. Supposedly, but it could be the jewel of the demons. However, the possibility that their target is the princess hasn't gone anywhere. To the people of this village, Itsukiheim was their pillar, and they can't afford to lose that protection. They must take this matter seriously. That's what the head of the temple thought. He added that he only wanted to protect Kodono's future, and he apologized for his words. The head of the temple understood and was on his side. Kiyomasa felt that the current Itsukiheim had two protectors. The head could keep him company. Kiyomasa believed that he was the only one who knew how to wield a sword and believed that he was the great protector of the shrine. Besides, he wasn't afraid of demons at all. Jinta didn't like that kind of speech. The guy said that he recognized Jinta's skill, but thought that Jinta was a weak guy who didn't even understand jokes. The princess tried to save the situation by saying that they were both in the presence of the divine and such arguments were out of place. Jinta bowed before the princess and apologized. Kiyomasa himself, on the other hand, did not see the problem in himself. According to the princess, he's the same as he's always been. He is as he is, and there is no replacing that. After that, the sitting was over for the day, and everyone went back to work. The princess and Jinta stayed for lunch. All for this. It was so cute I choked on my coffee. Princess didn't understand why Jinta was talking to her, and she had told him the same thing many times. First of all, she asked Jinta not to call her princess while they were one-on-one. Still, Jinta wasn't very good at it. The princess forgave the young man for that, but still really wanted Jinta to call her by her name. He was the only one allowed to do so. The princess's name was Shiryuki. It was because she had warm feelings for Jinta. She looked silly in front of him, and it was very cute. When Jinta called the princess by her name, she would ask him to repeat her name a few more times. She liked it a lot. 3 years ago, Shikuruki changed her name to Hakuya. Itsukiheim's past yokazi, who was eaten by a demon, was Shiryuki's mother. Moreover, her father was the temple attendant's protector at the time and had to sacrifice his life to capture the demon. After she was gone, her parents decided that she would become the next Itsukiheim. He vowed to be the temple attendant's protector. The princess thought she was no match for Itsukiheim and always relied on Jinta. However, the boy didn't see it that way. It was all cute. In the end, Jinta became the temple attendant's protector just to protect Hakuyu. The boy wanted to confess something to the princess, but he couldn't. The princess thought it was not good and asked the guy to confess. She realized that the guy had feelings for her too. However, Jinta thought that it would never work. The princess, on the other hand, considered herself more mature. The guy stated that Shiryuki had gotten her parents in trouble by saying she wanted to be a protector, and so she almost drowned trying to catch fish in the river, and got lost with Suzyun in the forest one day and started crying. So the guy thought the princess was immature. The princess stated that Suzyun was here too. However, the guy couldn't understand how Suzyun was able to enter the temple since other people are not allowed to enter. Shiryuki thought that this way Sis wanted to see Jinta as soon as possible. Suzyun opened her eyes to see her little brother and was happy to see him. Jinta was not happy that Suzyun had entered the temple without permission. She could not have done otherwise, for her little brother was here all the time. Jinta stated that he was here out of his own free will, and it was his duty. However, the little girl thought he was lying. Suzyun thought that in this way Jinta wanted to be close to his princess because he loved her. Jinta realized that this was true and couldn't say anything in response. However, he asked Suzyun one more time to not come to his temple. Suzyun manages to easily embarrass her little brother. Jinta was determined to leave, and his little sister declared that she knew the secret way. Suzu-chan is a good child, so Jinta was very worried about her. Suddenly, the head who asked the princess for permission to enter walked in. He wanted to continue their past discussion. To do so, he asked Jinta to go outside and wait behind the temple. He had to continue to defend Kodono. All Jinta heard was about the princess wedding ceremony. This, of course, shocked the boy. A father had once treated his daughter badly. He didn't want her to be born. It wasn't the girl's fault. He planned to kick the poor little girl out the door. The girl cried and called for her brother's help. The father ordered the child not to come home. In the aftermath, he said many horrible words to her. So Suzyun woke up to a brother who appreciated her. He even made her a delicious breakfast. Sister wanted to spend time with her brother, however, he had to go to the temple. Earlier, Jinta searched for his little sister in the dark streets of the city, and after a while he found Suzyun. 13 years ago, the sister along with her brother left their home in Edo, and they were taken in by Shiryuki's father named Motoharu-san. This year, Suzyun was to be 17 years old. The child's unchanging appearance and hidden right eye. Based on all that, it should be clear by now, but no one in Kodono is saying anything about it. Not even the noisy Kiyomasa. Jinta thought they were lucky since they could live on the streets. Suzyun's little girl was smart and knew what to say to make her brother feel good. His sister's mind clearly realized that Jinta had deep feelings for the beautiful princess and dreamed of being able to share his life in her company. Suzyun asked Jinta if he wanted to marry the princess. The boy didn't know what to answer, so he hesitated. After a while, he said that he really thought fondly of Shiryuki. At the same time, he respected Hakuyu a lot. Jinta was determined to tell his sister that he liked Shiryuki, who was Hakuya. Kiyomasa came to Jinta and stated that he had business with him. Kiyomasa stated that Jinta should go and deal with the demon. The demon was seen in the Forbidden Forest. Chitos went there this morning to gather herbs. This girl said she saw a beast of great size. Jinta realized his task and was determined to go there. Before leaving, Kiyomasa gave Jinta a manju he had bought from a passing merchant. He bought it especially for Suzyun-chan since the girl doesn't get out of the house very often. Jinta didn't understand why Kiyomasa was worried about Suzyun, so he asked him about it. The latter in turn thought that Jinta wouldn't understand anything. Jinta returned to his sister and said that he intended to go out hunting, so he would return to her later. The sister is intelligent, so she understood everything. She asked her beloved brother to be careful, expressing concern for his well-being, and then responded with a smile that showed the warmth and affection she felt for him. She herself, however, was sad to see him go. Jinta entered the forest and saw a girl named Chitos, who had gone deep into the forest to gather herbs. Jinta warned her of the danger. Jinta remembered the girl playing with Suzyun when they were little. The boy asked Chitos to call him Jinta-ni. It was hard for him to act formal. It was unacceptable to him. Chitos explained that Jinta was now the great protector of the temple, and he should have respect. Therefore, she could not honor the protector's request. Chitos, along with Jinta, headed for the stream where the demon had last been seen. Jinta warned Chitos to return home before it got dark. Chitos apologized for some reason that neither I nor Jinta understood. But then it became clear that this girl was a bit strange. Jinta remembered what happened earlier. Suzyun-chan woke up and was happy to see Jinta. Her sister asked Jinta not to go along with her, for she intended to play with Chitos-chan. When it transpired that they were going to play together, Jinta did not understand. The girl noticed that Suzyun-chan was not growing at all. The protagonist was sure that Suzyun didn't want to lose her very first friend, so she decided to purposely keep her distance with her. It was all very sad. Suddenly, Jinta was attacked by a demon the size of a 10-story house. He slammed his fist against the ground with super powerful force. A lady heard all this and realized that Jinta was in danger, but knew that Jinta was very strong. The demon claimed that he was counting on being able to catch Jinta. Jinta's defeat was due to his amazement at the fact that the demon was not hiding in the darkness of the night, but instead was carelessly strolling through the forest at noon. The demon emphasized that his assessment of his friends acting only during daylight hours showed their weakness. Furthermore, he added that it didn't matter to the elite whether it was day or night. Jinta then realized that this demon was not an ordinary demon, but an elite. So demons have a concept of privilege. Next, the clowning begins. The demon claimed to be smarter than the boy who came along with the girl to find the demon. That's right, the demon had been following this girl all along. Jinta thought that the demon had thus missed a great opportunity, but he only laughed like a baboon. The demon thought that he was not the type to stoop so low. Jinta realized that the demon was too clever and decided not to hesitate and drew his sword, saying that this was their territory. The demon, adopting an extremely unruly demeanor, was unwilling to listen to the opinions of others. In response, Jinta began to contemplate the possibility of forcing himself on the demon, perhaps by force, seeing such a move as a reasonable and necessary solution to the current situation. Integral to this internal conflict was Jinta's remark of a sword from Kodono, having the ability to cut through even strong demons, though the demon in turn only laughed at the threat. The battle between the two unfolded into a fierce battle, with the samurai's sword and the demon's mighty arm colliding into a majestic duel. With every second of the fight, the sword from Kodono was at risk of being lost, piercing the ground with its tip. Suddenly, a mysterious girl entered the scene, claiming that time was running out. Appearing to be the demon's accomplice, she made it clear that she was a demon herself, adding new rounds of complexity to an already tense situation. The demon thanked the girl for saving him. In turn, the demon didn't realize who was in front of them, a human or a super being. The girl didn't know what to answer, and just said something about Suzuna-chan, as if being around one of their brethren for so long might be an even bigger demon than them. Jinta was utterly perplexed and could not accept to his mind that Suzune was one of the beings belonging to the demonic nature. Doubts arose in his thinking, and he could not accept the idea that Suzune appeared to be a demon. The anger that surged within him prompted him to order the demonic entities to return their earlier utterances. However, the demons simply mocked him, not giving any importance to his demand. Instead of complying with his command, they only let out disdainful laughs, further increasing their irritation. The demonic being was completely at a loss to understand what was happening, but the demon girl, the owner of a clearer understanding of the situation, assured that everything was in absolute order and there was no need to worry. After all, her ability allowed her to see the future. But this time, she couldn't simply believe what she saw. The situation seemed extremely absurd and made no sense. The demon had shown trust in the young girl, while the girl herself, being a demon, felt disgusted by such trustworthiness. In her eyes, such a relationship seemed extremely troubling. The undeniable goal of demonic beings was to strive to shape a favorable future for their race, putting all their efforts and resources into it. The demons wanted to leave, as the guy thought it was unacceptable. However, Jinta thought about letting these demons go, as there are two of them, and they are very strong. The demon told about where their lair was, namely deep in the forest in a cave. If Jinta were to pursue them, he might fall into their trap. The demon stated that unlike humans, demons don't lie and tell the truth. This of course shocked not only Jinta, but also me as a reader. I think he is right. After that, Jinta thought that the situation was complicated and decided to leave. After all, if he compared these two demons with the previous ones he had met before, these ones are on a completely different level, and they are even somewhat similar to humans. The demon's words about Suzuna never ceased to occupy Jinta's mind, causing him to deepen his thoughts about what he had said. Finally, after some time, Jinta decided to return to the comfort of his home, where his beloved sister was waiting. Suddenly, without warning, a demon appeared and attacked the temple. It ate Yokazi. Before concluding his conversation with Jint, a teacher named Madohara-sana expressed his seriousness by addressing the young man. He expressed his desire to see a promise from Jinta that he would be able to control his feelings of hatred, as well as see to the well-being of Shiryuki and Suzuna, which was an integral part of the mission entrusted to him. Jinta at the temple spoke of two demons, one female, who spoke as if she had been to Kodono before. Jinta could not recognize the intentions of these demons. The head of the temple suspected that these demons were after Yarai, or the princess. And if the princess was their target, then they could adjourn their discussions to the morning, namely to talk about how to prepare for defense in case they were attacked. Jinta warned the head that the demons had set up camp. The possibility of Jinta being able to overcome the demonic creatures was only 50%. In this situation, he had no other way of proceeding. Faced with the inevitable, Jintu made a strategic decision to go on a demonic quest, aiming to solve the difficult task and meet the unknown. Jintu was continuously heralded for his outstanding fighting skills, ranking him as the best fighter in the Kodono region. In addition, it was emphasized that in light of the awareness of the impending demon attack on the village, he had an undeniable duty on his shoulders to assume the role of protector and ensure the safety of his settlement. An unexpected outburst of violence in the form of a surprise attack caused the loss of the lives of two honorable individuals, namely Yokazi-san and Marahara-san. As a result of this tragic event, the only survivors were the villagers, and for this we can thank Madoharu-san, whose efforts and dedication played a key role in allowing the villagers to avoid a deeper tragedy. Despite their earlier remarks, the residents expressed regret and apologized for their earlier words. The leader addressed the dignitary in the person of the princess to ask about next steps and how they could move forward in resolving the situation. After giving it some thought, the princess declared that Jinta should stay one day in the village, and they would gather all the village men to search the forbidden forest. After all, their enemies were the demons who were able to survive after encountering their great protector. Therefore, the temple guards would join the search team for safety. Expectedly, everyone present knew what final decision the beautiful princess would bring, and undoubtedly, everyone unanimously supported her choice. In turn, Jint, experiencing boundless passion, was in love with the princess. What I forgot to say is that the manga is set in the Edo period in the picturesque mountain village of Kodono, where a quiet and devoted temple attendant named Itsukahime finds herself at the center of amazing events. Her fate is turned upside down by the appearance of a mysterious young man named Jinta, who, as her unexpected protector, ventures into the depths of the forest to confront a dark demon, plunging her into an epic battle. Jinta, overcome by danger and confronted with mystery, reveals to Itsukahime a supernatural power. However, his journey becomes not only a fast-paced adventure, but also a mystical passage through time. Encountering a demon who possesses the ability to cross from Edo to the Heisei era, Jinta begins to explore the meaning of swordsmanship and master the mysteries of time. Thank you, dear friends, for your attention to this story. Your support is invaluable, and I deeply appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel to stay up to date with all my new videos and continue to follow the fascinating development of this compelling narrative.